So here is the Pipette, which is the in-home display in my house. And what I do is I'm going to go through this and I'm going to show some of the functionality of it. We have a messaging function here, which we can send a message from our head-end system. And it's saying, good morning, good evening, Tom. We've applied the value of your staff discount. So that's for staff. We could also send out other messages. Good morning, Mr. Bean. I hope you're enjoying your new meter. Regards, Electric Ireland. So we can send those messages out and we can verify in our head-end system that the customer has actually received them. I'm going to come back to history in a little bit. We can look at what the tariff is set up. I'm on an Urban Night Saver, so the times when they kick in and how much the fixed rate, so that's the rate I'm charged per kilowatt hour at those times. What I do is in here I can look at my account and I can basically go in, and if I'm taking debt off the customer, I can see how the debt is actually performing. And in here, if customers are vending and we lose signal with them, the GPRS, they can actually go in and enter in a VEN code if they were in a prepay mode. So that's how we kind of have some support for the system in terms of if the GPRS connection went down. So if I go back here then into settings, I can also set a target, and at the moment I have set my target of €10 a day. You'll see that coming up later on as to how that actually transpires. So when I go back in here, this is a very interesting bit to it. In here I can look at kilowatt hour, I can press this, I can do cost, I can press it again and I can do CO2. It's programmed at a certain level for what the network will be. That can be configured. And if I go back to kilowatt hour, and I'm going to just go back to cost, then what I can do is I can go forward. So this shows where we take our standing charge off at midnight from a customer. That's the way we do it. Now I have a heat pump, but the heat pump was actually was off last night. So this would normally have a profile on it, which is up and down. Then it shows me my morning. I'm getting up in the morning, what's happening in the morning. I've turned my heat pump back on, and then this shows me the cost per day. So up here is the total cost, so it's at 42 cent, and my total cost, so that's 42 cent in that half-hour period, and then my total cost today is 8.41. What I can do is, if I keep it on cost, I can do it on cost, or I can do it in all the various ones I show you. But if I keep it on cost just alone, just for this purpose of this, if I then go to do hour, when I tap on the hour, it shows me my day. And what it shows me is I've set that target that I showed in the previous one, the target to be €10. And that's that dotted line that's across there. And at the top line, it's showing what's the maximum amount that's been spent over the last 9 days. It shows a 9-day period. So what's actually happened is the total has been 87.70 and the maximum on any one day was 11.62. I do heat my house with a heat pump, so I do use a lot of energy. What I can then do is I can go back and I can look at the week and I can see what was the maximum in the week. So the maximum in any one week was €81, and the total then kind of showing over this period, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, is €400. I can tap the week and then it goes into months. This was installed on the 24th of November, so November is a small month. Obviously December, I was at home a lot, and that's basically saying €379 for that month. And then it's showing January, February, the months are actually kind of reducing down. So it provides a huge amount of information for me. And then when I come back again, it goes back to the original settings. That's how it works. I can also go in here. And it will show me what's actually happening, just a kind of a very quick look at what I'm using. That's the amount I'm using at the moment, 86 cents. Okay, I'm drawing 5 kilowatt hours because my heat pump's on and I've lights on all around the house, so there's a lot of draw in the house. And then that's the CO2. And the same over on this right hand side, it basically is showing me how much I've used today, 8.51 versus yesterday, 10.41. So that's a summary of how the in-home display works. It works anywhere in the house, and it reads over Zigbee back to the main meter that we've installed.